Hey everyone, this is Niki Rowland for Hit Kit Club, and today I'm making a layout using the January kits. So I have the beautiful January main kit, pocket life kit, embellishment kit, and the colour kit too, although I don't think I used the colour kit today, but the Lindy's in there are really lovely. I think I missed a trick there. I should have done that. And I'm using the Moodboard for inspiration today, and I'm also using a subscriber cut file today, this Gumball machine. So I have a Valentine's photo, so my little girl and her boyfriend, in quote marks. They're only 8, so not sure how serious things are just yet. Hopefully not too much. Anyway, they were together for a weekend, and I had these really cute photos, and yeah, very, very cute. Yes, they're definitely sweet on each other, so I've gone for the Sweet on You title from that from one of the cut files for this month. I've cut that in black. I shrunk it really down really small, and then I've cut the Gumball machine itself in white, and then I'm backing it with some pattern papers. So I'm basically sticking with Pink Paislee Lucky Us collection today because it's a Valentine's type layout, or a love themed layout. So I've backed the bottom part of the Gumball machine in the hearts paper, that really fabulous hearts paper from the Lucky Us collection that was in the January main kit, and I've backed the top part of the Gumball machine in vellum. So I just had a scrap of that left over from a previous kit, so I've just done that there. So my idea is to put some hearts onto the Gumball machine itself. So rather than use the cut file that came with it, like of the sweets or the hearts that go inside it, I'm going to make my own little heart confetti. So you can see that I've punched a load of hearts from different coloured cardstocks that were in the January cardstock kit. And I've just used a small heart punch to cut 2 different colours there. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, do I create a full-on shaker pocket, or do I stick them on top of the vellum, or do I stick them underneath the vellum? How am I going to do this? So I used to really like making shaker pockets, but the thing that annoys me about them is that all of the things fall to the bottom of the shaker pocket. So I used to try and add some stitching here and there, like a few stitches, to get the things caught above them so that they would spread out more. And in the end, most of the time I don't make shaker pockets anymore for that reason. So what I tend to do instead is stick my things in place where I want them, and then they have the feel and the look of being a shaker without all the things falling to the bottom of the pocket. So I'm kind of cheating there, but I prefer the overall look. So it's a slightly weird thing, but a fake shaker pocket is what I'm going to go for. So I've just mounted my photo onto that fabulous black and white paper. That's a pink fresh paper, and I have stuck my Gumball machine down, but only at the bottom section, so not the top part is not stuck at all yet. And now I'm going to add my hearts. So I've just sprinkled those in, and they look random, so I have deliberately not arranged them. I wanted them to look random, so I've sprinkled them in. And now I'm going to stick them all down. So I'm using just wet glue here, and I'm picking each one up with my finger and moving it out of the way, adding a small amount of adhesive behind, and then sticking them in place. So I guess there is some element of rearranging them here, but only slightly, and only because, you know, in the course of picking them up and moving them. So I'm not actually really arranging them. They stay where they landed effectively, and I really like the effect. They look random, they look like they're shaking around, but they don't actually move, and then they don't all fall to the bottom of the pocket. So that's just a little tip from me if anybody likes the idea of shaker pockets but doesn't like the way that they look when they fall to the bottom. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to do was bring in some silver hearts. So I've stuck a bit of that fabulous Heidi Swap glitter tape to a piece of cardstock and punched out. So the glitter tape has a plastic backing on because it's adhesive, so I didn't want to try and attempt to punch through that. I didn't want to attempt to punch through it whilst it was sticky, so sticking it to a piece of cardstock was the perfect solution. It worked really, really well. Okay, so I have punched a few of those silver hearts and I've stuck those into my shaker pocket too, again pretty randomly. Some are upside down, some are sideways, some are the right way up, and then I've just added a couple of foam pads behind the top part of that gumball machine and stuck that in place. So as I say, now I have got my fake shaker pocket, all looking good. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out. It's much better than what I was hoping it would look, because I was thinking, should I stick the hearts on top, but then sticking them onto vellum doesn't always work, because vellum reacts with any wet glue. I could have stuck them with tape, I suppose, but anyway, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Obviously I've been inspired by the mood board. There was a Gumball image on the mood board, so I was going for that, and the whole color scheme, it's very Valentine's-y, so yeah, that's my inspiration for today. Okay, so I'm carrying on now with my embellishment. I am just sticking down the title, Sweet on You, and I'm just using a wet glue to stick that down. It's pretty tiny and skinny title because I've cut it so small, so I'm just sticking it flat. There's just no way I can manage to raise that up on foam pads. I'd love to, but it just wouldn't look right. So now I'm coming in with the rest of the embellishment on the layout. So I've got a title, I've got my Gumball machine and my photo all in place, so now it's time to start embellishing properly. I wanted to extend out the horizontal line across the bottom of the layout, so I wanted to extend the photo to the right and the Gumball machine to the left a bit. So I've picked out some flowers from the Lucky Us thickers. So they are a sheet of accent and phrase thickers. They're foam and really lovely. Lots of different icons on those, lots of fun things. But the fact that they're foam rather than chipboard means that they stick so much better. So they have my vote every time. Foam thickers have my vote every single time. Okay, so I've stuck some flowers down to the right hand side. They're pretty bright. They're very bright orangey red on one of them, so it's concerning me a little bit. I've added one of the oval Pink Fresh Studio, my favourite story frames. I literally have two left. I have one left now, and I've stuck that just poking out at the top of the flowers on the right, and then I'm coming over to the left as well. I'm just adding some flowers from the floral ephemera from Pink Fresh Studio, my favourite story. So even though this layout wasn't overly floral, it was like romantic or Valentine's themed, I liked some of the flowers in the mood board, and I wanted to bring some of those in, yeah, I just had to pick out the right colours. So I didn't really want to bring in the yellow colour or greens. I've got a little bit of green, but not too much. But I basically just picked out the pinks and the reds, and got those, tucked those in behind the photo on the right and the Gumball machine and the bits and pieces on the left as well. So I'm just kind of building up that cluster on the left there. I've got a few flowers there tucked underneath, and one raised up on foam pads too, a small one. And then I'm now coming in with these lovely chipboard flare buttons. So I really love these because they are just sticky. They're not actually made of metal, and I found that some of my metal flare has gone rusty over time. Like looking back at ones from years and years ago, they have rust spots on them. I'm so upset and gutted about that. So I've really gone off using metal flare badges on my layouts now. So these chipboard ones are a brilliant alternative, and again have my vote every single time. So I'm really happy with using those. So I pulled out one on the left that says happy, and I think that's the only one I've ended up using. I think the colours might have been wrong. I don't have that many left because I love them so much. I've used them. I'm now just going through the bows. So I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with these bows. The colour blocks are bothering me. I wish they were all one colour, as in so I could create a yellow bow or a pink bow, but no, they've got multiple colours on them. So anyway, I'm going to run with it and see if I can make a green one. So I've pulled out a couple of green pieces, bow pieces, and layered them up. I'm not sure they're strictly speaking supposed to go together like that if you was to look at the back of the packet, but I think it looks okay. I'm happy with it. Now with these bows, I struggle to keep them stuck. They tend to come apart because they're the middle section is holding a lot together. It's got a lot of pressure on it, so I've run them through my sewing machine. So this one, and on previous layouts I've used them as well, I've actually run them through my sewing machine. Now my sewing machine's really struggled to go through them because there's many layers, but I've manually pulled the machine around using the dial on the side, and managed to do it. So they are definitely not going to go anywhere now. And then I just stick them down in place with some glossy accents as well. So I'm pretty much done now. I've added all sorts of things. I've added enamel dots, I've added all the thickers, I've added flowers, I've added puffy stickers from the Lucky Us collection, and now I just toyed around with the idea of adding a white border, but in the end I decided to stick with a completely coloured background. So this is a piece of Pink Fresh Studio paper, and I've just added a white border using the thread on my sewing machine. So I've gone around the edges twice with a straight stitch, and then I've added a lot of zigzags, on some on the right and some on the left. So it just gives it an extra bit of texture, gives it a small subtle border around the outside, makes me happy because it has a border, and it's without actually having to add another whole piece of cardstock. So that's win-win. Okay, so I'm just adding in some silver thread now underneath my two clusters on the right and the left. I got the ends dangling a bit, and then I'm just handwriting in my journaling, which reads, Sophie and Noah are in love and very cute together. They loved having a sleepover at Noah's new house. So this was very cute. I'm so happy that I've got these photos because they're a bit camera shy. Okay, so that's me done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my mood board inspired layout. Don't forget that if you are a main kit subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price. You also get a 15% discount on all add-on kits, and you get access to exclusive cut files. So head over to the Hip Kit Club website to get all of those things, and happy scrapping!